Welcome to the PreSnap Podcast on the LineStar YouTube channel alongside my co-host, Tyler Wiemann. I'm Shannon Sommerville, and we've got your top RBs to target in your next best ball draft. We're going kind of tier by tier who you should be targeting. We have 6 running backs in total. If you guys are out there doing best ball, these are some guys to look for. Tyler, how did you assess the running back position as it pertained to this particular list?
Well, we took out the very obvious ones at the top, top, say, 12 pick running backs in, Saquon, Bijan, Gibbs, Genty. We threw that out the window and then started looking at people, who we've been looking at in early stages, medium, and late.
Yes, so in your next best ball draft, maybe some guys to consider. And of course, let us know what you're thinking for your next best ball draft. Our best ball rankings on the LineStar app, by the way, are now live. So go check it out for yourself, linestarapp.com. Also do us a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you're enjoying our content or if you've got any other players that we should be targeting in best ball. Let us know in the comments. So like Tyler was saying, we have 2 from each kind of tier, so to speak. So we have 2 running backs that are going early in those best ball drafts, medium, or like mid-level or mid-rounds, and then late rounds, maybe some more sleeper picks there at the end for you. Again, running backs that could provide some value for you and help you win best ball. Also, if you don't have Underdog and you haven't hopped into their Best Ball Mania draft, go ahead and do so. If you are downloading Underdog for the first time, use our promo code LineStar. You'll get that nice deposit match. Plus, you'll also get 1 free month of the LineStar app. All right, let's get right into it here. Starting off with the early round running backs to target. And as Tyler mentioned, we're not going to go over the obvious top choices, but some maybe late first couple round running backs that you might want to look at. Josh Jacobs might be kind of a boring pick, but might be super valuable. He was 4th most in carries, 4th most red zone touches, led the NFL with 14 red zone touchdowns inside the 10 last season. Strong offense, solidified offensive line, bolstered receiving core. I like the spot here for Josh Jacobs. How about you, Tyler?
I love the spot for Josh Jacobs. I mean, he is the most boring pick here, but
who cares if it wins us the best ball?
It's one you just need to take. We know his role. His backups, we haven't even really seen play football. It's a solid offense. They want to run. It worked out in his first year. He's still young enough to keep it going. I think Jacobs is one that's just an easy click. Just not as sexy or as exciting as some others, that can be. But it's one, if you want a solid start or foundation to your running back room, he's a great pick.
The one downside I could see is he going to replicate exactly what he put up last year? Maybe not. The Packers were so focused on the run game, particularly after Jordan Love got injured. So they were basically designing their whole game plan around it. And now they might be a little bit more balanced. But I actually think that could also benefit Jacobs as well. Any thoughts on the overall style of the Packers as they head into this 2025 season?
I mean, we've seen for years now, this is just who the Packers are. We saw it with Aaron Rodgers. Now we're seeing it with Love. Like they're going to be a balanced team. I don't think they'll be super heavy, rushing or passing. They're going to be balanced. They're going to get it done. They're a high scoring offense. Jacobs is going to have his opportunities.
Next up to a running back that I think people probably have a lot of different opinions on, but it's going to be Jets running back Breece Hall. Currently ADP 37, RB 13 off the board. This was RB 18 last year, but he was going very high in a lot of best ball drafts. However, Tyler, I'm going to make the case for Breece Hall and why you should draft him because I think he was a victim of circumstance last year. Listen, last year was a complete and absolute dumpster fire for the Jets. They fired their coach midseason. You got the Aaron Rodgers drama in there. Nathaniel Hackett, Todd Downing in charge of that offense was just horrendous. The Jets ranked dead last as a team in rush attempts. That's just unacceptable when you have Breece Hall on your team. He's also entering a contract year, so he's going to be looking for that money. The Jets in the draft seem to be committed to the offensive line and that tight end position, which bodes well for the running backs. They drafted heavy there, and they've got a new coaching staff coming in. And Tyler, one of the things that stood out to me is I kind of dove deep into the coaching staff to see, what is their pedigree, what's their philosophy on running backs. And Tanner Engstrand, former Lions passing game coordinator, is now the Jets' new offensive coordinator. And he was, keep in mind, he was the Lions passing game coordinator that saw Jahmyr Gibbs third in the NFL among running backs in receiving yards per game. He worked originally actually under Jim Harbaugh back in San Diego. Rejoined him at Michigan. We know what Harbaugh likes to do. He likes to run the ball. What do you think about Hall's prospects for this season as it pertains to best ball?
Well, Hall's the guy that we put on this list because it's an interesting talking point here.
Yeah.
Thing with Hall, he is one of the few running backs, going around here that legit has top 5 running back ability. And he was being drafted as that last year. So we're only 1 year removed. You mentioned all of went wrong with the Jets, and still the Jets. So the likelihood of some of that stuff going wrong again is absolutely there. But look who he's going around, like Xavier Worthy, Tet McMillan, Travis Hunter, James Cook, DJ Moore. These are guys that I don't feel like I necessarily need to have. And I don't really think they have the giant upside that Hall does. I don't mind going James Cook over him, but Hall absolutely is that dual threat. One of the things that I do want to bring up, because you talked about his pass catching prowess, and it does worry a little bit that Justin Fields is there. He's just not generally one that likes to dump it down, or he's not that great at it. Just because, he can scramble and he looks to run a little bit more. So that's one worry I have for him.
And the other concern is that Aaron Glenn has said in a recent interview, he said, quote, "I would say that we have 3 running backs on this team that we're going to utilize as much as possible." So does that mean it's more of like a by committee situation? They got Braylon Allen there as well. That's certainly a possibility, but we've seen what Breece Hall can do. He's got that flashes of just so much power, speed, athleticism, that it's hard to pass up a guy like him, knowing he's entering a contract year, he's trying to go get his money and earn it. And thinking of all the drama that unfolded, it's like just parsing out what was the victim of circumstance and, what was going wrong last year. And I just felt like it was just a dumpster fire that we got to kind of throw out that season for him in a way.
He's also another year removed from his injury, which we've seen sometimes it takes running backs a year or two to get back to speed.
That's exactly what happened with Saquon as well. So something definitely to consider there. So those are our early round running backs to target. You got Jacobs, you got Hall as some that could be super valuable if they have the season that we are anticipating. Next, we're going to go to those mid-round running backs that you could target. And we're going to start with RJ Harvey, the rookie that the Denver Broncos just acquired in the draft. ADP 56, RB 18. Denver actually had him as the number 2 running back on their board. He was drafted 60th overall in the second round. Remember, he's coming out of UCF, and Sean Payton, Tyler, has a good track record of scouting running back talent. Reggie Bush, Darren Sproles, Pierre Thomas, Alvin Kamara. And Kamara was actually, I looked back at his rookie season, he was a backup as a rookie. He still finished 4th in fantasy points per game. I'm excited about the prospects here. How about you?
Yeah, as far as Sean Payton coached teams, the running back room has been top 6 in 10 of 12 seasons.
Wow.
So going after these Broncos running backs is probably a good idea. And RJ Harvey, this was a prime running back draft, and Denver went out and got their guy. He's in a great spot. Definitely should lead the team in opportunities. And I like the ceiling for him.
Yeah. Important to note that Javonte Williams, of course, is now on the Cowboys. And also, no team throws to the running back more than a team coached by Sean Payton. That could be good. Also, the Broncos had one of the lowest grades for running backs last season. This isn't The opportunity will be there for Harvey,
Yes.
and they're certainly going to. I'm excited about what the Denver Broncos have in store for the rookie here. RB 18 off the board. I like it. Next up, let's go to the Chiefs and Isiah Pacheco. Coming in at around 91.5 on the ADP, RB 30 off the board. 2023, among running backs with at least 150 carries, he ranked 9th in success rate, 10th in yards after contact per attempt, 5th in EPA per attempt. Those are some eye-popping stats back in 2023. But remember last season, he fractured his fibula week 2. He eventually returned week 13, but was kind of limited in his return. What do you see for Pacheco for 2025? Are we going to see those glimpses of those numbers and that success rate that we did 2 seasons ago?
Well, one thing is when you run as hard and as angry as he does,
Yeah.
breaking your leg in season and coming back probably isn't the most beneficial thing to your long-term
No.
success or your health. And so I think he was very, very hampered by his injury still when he came back, even though he was able to come back. More time with that to go. I think the team does believe in him, and he is going to get the first opportunity to win this job. And I mean, we've wanted parts of this KC backfield for years now, and this is a guy that was getting like drafted in the 30s or 40s last year, just got hurt, and now he's way down below. I mean, we saw Kareem Hunt. He had no juice really. He was reliable. He was able to get a yard or two, but there was no juice. It wasn't, giving anything extra to the offense. And so with that, I think where Pacheco is being drafted, there is huge upside, and I'm willing to take some shots on that upside, especially with like a 0 RB type build.
Worth noting, the RB room looks like they also brought back Kareem Hunt. They got Elijah Mitchell and drafted Brashard Smith out of SMU 7th round. It does seem like they're kind of banking on Pacheco here and really putting their confidence in him. So Pacheco is some pretty great value actually at RB 30 right now. Let's go to some late round value here. And we're going to start things off with 49ers running back Isaac Guerendo, ADP 143, running back 44. Worth noting, he is the topic of some trade rumors recently. But this is a guy who is backing up CMC, who was dealing with injuries all of last season. What do you think about Guerendo's prospects for the 2025 season?
There are very few guys in this league that are 6 foot, 220 pounds, and run a 4.3. And that is what Guerendo does. He has that huge home run threat ability in an offense that gets people open in space. That's a nice ability to have. The thing here is I really worry about CMC. His injury, he came back last year, was only getting 15 to 20 touches. He wasn't getting the huge workload that we've seen years prior. And I think there's a real possibility that could be his role once again. The other issue is we're talking about a tendonitis situation. It can, flare up at any point in the season, and then he could be gone for 3-4 weeks. And it's, pretty easy to see that path to Guerendo really being there. I think there's the chance where he's getting 5 to 10 touches a game all season long, but then with a CMC injury, there's the huge upside that we saw last year where, he can break a 70-yarder and really win you a week.
Yeah, and Guerendo could have a ton of opportunity, especially when you consider the injury history for CMC. Jordan Mason is now in Minnesota. Elijah Mitchell is now in Kansas City. They did pick up Oregon running back Jordan James in the 5th round, and also have Patrick Taylor Jr., but that's a running back that he could easily find his way at the top of the pack there. The way injuries work out. Also worth mentioning Deebo Samuel, who is, kind of used as in those situations. He can, he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife on the offense. He's no longer there as well, but Guerendo could find himself in a very great opportunity, especially for those fantasy points. So liking the value that we could see there out of one of the more prolific offenses in the league. And they certainly love to use their running backs in that situation. Next up, let's go to the Eagles and Will Shipley, ADP 201, RB 61. The Eagles seem pretty comfortable with Will Shipley as Saquon's backup. And with the volume that Saquon Barkley has been seeing, I mean, any kind of lingering injury or anything, and Will Shipley could be the guy. And he certainly can do it. What do you think?
Last season, Saquon Barkley had 491 total touches when you include the playoffs. There are just not that many people, not many running backs that can handle that kind of workload week in and week out. I think it just raises the likelihood that Saquon could get hurt. I hate saying that. I don't hope he gets hurt. He is one of the most exciting players in this game, but we have to understand there's the real possibility for that. And if so, Shipley then steps into just an absolutely dynamic situation. And I think you gotta like Shipley in that there. And he's just going underdrafted for the upside if he gets that start.
It's also worth talking about Saquon in general and where he's going in best ball, which is, obviously first round, but there is some real risk, as you alluded to, in the amount of work that he's gotten and where he's at. So over 1,000+ touches over a 3-year span entering his age 28 season. And when you look at some of the underlying stats that I pulled up, of the 37 running backs with 150+ touches in 2024, Saquon actually had a 48% rush success rate that ranked 10th, 3.17 yards after contact per rush, which ranked 15th. And I mean, you're talking about a running back that's probably being drafted one of the first or couple off the board. So I think I'm not trying to go full fade Saquon because we know how that could wind up, but am I kind of saying maybe just temper expectations with Saquon? It's worth considering some of those numbers.
I love Saquon. If I have the opportunity to draft him, if I get the number 2 pick, or if he falls to me at 3, I'm absolutely going to take him. But on teams that doesn't have him, I'm absolutely looking to Will Shipley. I think there's giant upside. And if Saquon's out, Shipley then becomes a top 10 running back, with upside of top 5 at ADP 201. So,
I mean, behind that offensive line, I feel like Tyler I could maybe gain a few yards behind that offensive line. I'm just saying. Do you think I could do that realistically? I feel like
I've seen you when you get angry. I think there's the possibility.
See, yeah, like I'm saying. All right, so Will Shipley, let's go. Good luck in all of your best ball drafting. Those are our 6 running backs to target in your best ball draft. Next up, watch out for me in your next best ball draft. I'll be on there before you know it, guys. All right. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you're enjoying our content. Please let us know. We love hearing from you. It really helps us out here on the LineStar YouTube channel. Good luck in all of your best ball drafts. We'll see you guys next time.